You have to walk the talk. You have to be authentic as a leader. If you're not doing it, they see that.
It is entirely universal. There's other people who are going through this.
For me, a great leader needs to be able to marry three things: vision, systems, and people.
Welcome to Leadership Moments if this is your first time, and if you are returning, thank you for your support.
This show is about leaders from all walks of life, leadership tips, and maybe even a little of what you wouldn't expect to help you in leadership.
We would appreciate it if you tell someone else about our podcast as we strive to support all leaders that want to just be better.
Let's get on with the show.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be with my fantastic co-host today, Tracy Ann Palmer, and I'm super excited about our topic that we're going to be discussing today. So, Tracy Ann, how do you feel about our topic today?
Oh, my word, Stace. I'm so excited. Today we are diving into a hot topic that's making waves in the boardrooms, okay? LinkedIn debates, and let's be honest, some pretty heated group chats, which I'm just monitoring. AI in the workplace. Friend, foe, or just another coworker who forgets to refill the coffee pot.
Yeah, except this coworker might not drink coffee as we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But they could be handling some of your emails, running reports, and maybe even making some business decisions for you.
Yeah, it's like every sci-fi movie, except instead of a robot arising, we're seeing AI agents quietly getting added to the payroll. Well, kind of. That's what Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff is predicting.
That's right. Recently at the World Economic Forum, Mark Benioff said that today's executives might be the last generation to manage all human workforces. So from now on, we'll be leading both human employees and digital workers, which are AI agents designed to handle specific tasks. It's a very interesting thought.
Yeah, but let's get real. Stacey, AI is already here, right? It's booking our meetings, summarizing reports, doing data analysis, and let's be honest, occasionally throwing us off with some pretty weird autocorrects.
Oh, absolutely, right? And this is about an AI workforce shift, though. It's about more than just automating tasks. So some companies like Lattice try to take it to another level by giving AI files, HR personnel files, and treating them like team members.
And people freaked out, okay?
They sure did.
Right, the internet dragged them so hard that within 3 days, they put the whole initiative on pause. It was like, whoa, we didn't mean it like that,
Right, absolutely. So let's break that down. So why did Lattice's digital worker plan flop so hard? And more importantly, are we actually headed toward a future where AI coworker has a performance review?
Yeah, so let's start with why Lattice's idea didn't land well.
Yeah, first, the rollout was just odd. People had just come back from the 4th of July holiday. Layoffs were happening across industries. And here comes Lattice talking about AI colleagues. So this is a classic example of how communication around content and timing can absolutely fail an initiative.
Yeah, exactly. Also, people don't like the idea of giving AI an employee ID when human workers are already struggling for fair wages and benefits. And remember, we just had massive layoffs over the last 2 years.
Yeah, so true. And let's talk ethics, right? If AI agents are classified as workers, do they get rights? I mean, it sounds silly, but these are the questions that you really do have to ask. Do they get vacation time? Who's liable if they make a mistake?
Yeah. Do they join the company softball team?
And do they get invited to the holiday party?
Totally. But, look, jokes aside, this experiment might have been a little ahead of its time, but it does bring up some valid questions, like, where do we draw the line between AI being a tool and AI being a teammate?
Yeah. Well, let's look at the flip side. AI already acts as a coworker in many ways.
Yes.
Think about chatbots handling customer service, AI writing code, or even legal AI assistants like Harvey.ai reviewing contracts for people.
Totally. And, one thing I'll just add there, I have found it personally to be a phenomenal brainstorming buddy.
Yeah.
Totally
agree.
So just even that, right? Everybody is leveraging it in some way. And, companies like Salesforce, Microsoft, and Workday, they were really rolling out AI agents. In fact, I would say we don't even know the half of what companies are currently doing with AI. So whether we like it or not, digital workers are coming. And my question, Stacey, is, are we all ready for that?
Right. Well, let's not forget that 41% of employers globally are planning to downsize their workforce because AI is taking over tasks. Now, that's not speculation, right? Because it's actually happening right now. There's some companies that are saying that they're doing it, they're working on it, they haven't actually succeeded at it yet, but there's other companies that are succeeding at that.
That's right. So what does that mean for leaders? How do we navigate the AI evolution in a way that benefits both our human employees and the business? And boy, we could talk about this for hours, I just want to say.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a great question. First, leaders need to rethink job design. So with digital workers handling repetitive and process-driven tasks, leaders should shift human roles toward higher value work. This is something we've been talking about. It's not about a job loss, right? Things like relationship building, creative problem solving, and strategic decision making are things that these leaders need to consider in those job descriptions.
And you know what I love about that? People have been saying that for so long. Like, hey, I want to be more strategic. Hey, I want to focus on the bigger issues. Well, guess what? They're going to get an opportunity to do that now. And then secondly, accountability needs to be very clearly defined. Who manages a digital worker? Who steps in when they make a mistake? Like, leaders must set very clear ownership structures to ensure AI outputs are properly reviewed and refined.
Yeah. And third, performance metrics need to be solved. They need to evolve as well. If digital workers are part of the team, then how do you measure their success? Kind of like we talked about, if they make a mistake, who actually owns that mistake? So leaders need to establish key performance indicators that align with business outcomes, efficiency gains, and employee experience improvements when they think about this.
That's right. And training isn't just for humans anymore. Leaders must understand how to guide AI to function effectively and ensure that the digital workers are trained on the right data, follow those ethical guidelines, and continuously improve based on real-world feedback.
Yeah, I love this. And some people might be listening to this saying, but I don't know if this is really happening. Well, I actually just posted on LinkedIn a couple of days ago that Anthropic.ai did a great research with some data that actually showed how people are leveraging AI in job roles and what it's meaning and in which areas of job roles. So is it legal? Is it technology? And they talk about all those different things. So check it out if you haven't. It's a really good article to be able to give people some actual data of how it's being used. But we can't forget about the human element when we're thinking about all these things with the digital worker, right? Leaders need to manage team dynamics when digital workers are introduced. So employees may feel uneasy, as we talked about their presence. So fostering an open dialogue, addressing these concerns, and reinforcing the human AI collaboration is going to be so essential.
Yeah, and, another leadership shift, compliance and governance. AI-driven workers must align with company policies, security protocols, legal regulations, Leaders should work closely with HR and IT to establish rules that keep AI accountable and transparent, and also, within the guidelines of all the, global country and, national regulations, government regulations.
Yeah, for sure. And, most importantly, leaders should embrace adaptability. We talk about this all the time,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The AI landscape is changing rapidly, and staying ahead means continuously reassessing workflows. So, it's been around for a while, and we think about integrating AI ethically and preparing employees for blended workforces, but you can't stop. It's been around, AI's been around for many, many years. Generative AI is what's new and exciting. And even if you dug in when OpenAI released ChatGPT and you were one of the first million users within those first few days, it is still evolving, and you have to keep staying on top of it. How are other people using it? What are other companies doing? You have to continuously stay curious.
That's right. And, so maybe instead of fearing AI, leaders should see this as an opportunity to really redefine work for the better. And one of the things that I always say is, fear creates panic. Education creates ideas and innovation.
I love that. And it's so true. We fear the unknown.
That's
right?
it.
Once
That's
we
it.
know, we can now make a plan and attack it. I
That's
love
right.
it. And it's not about man or woman versus machine. It's about man or woman with machine.
That's right. That's right. And listen, I know we've got to jump, into ending this, but one thing that I'll say is, if you getting back to that sci-fi movie, it's real. It's here. I'm just going to say, okay? So, all right. So embrace it, because it's not going away, So Stacey, any sort of final thoughts for you?
Well, as long as, the digital coworker does not take my job, I'm sure I'll be fine. But if they start giving me some passive aggressive feedback in my performance reviews, we might have a little problem that I got to work through.
Totally. Oh my word. Fair enough. So listeners, what do you think? Are you ready for AI colleagues, or does the idea make you uneasy? Let us know in the comments, tag us. This is such a fantastic topic. Let's start talking about it more.
Yeah, and we're for sure going to probably talk about this again as we learn more, as more companies try it. So it'll be really, really interesting. And as always, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to our channel, let other people know, and keep leveling up your leadership.
Until next time. If you enjoyed the show, please go to leadershipmomentspodcast.com to subscribe to the podcast, or on your favorite player, as well as follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn.
You can also send us a message on what you like and don't like, or what guest you want us to have on the show.
So until next time.
This is Stacey Castor, and what doesn't challenge you won't change you.
And I'm Tracy Ann Palmer. Be the change you wish to see in the world.